Hey, it's Brandon Coon, and I just wanted to show you a quick video on how to put on your Talon Grips. I'm sure there's lots of videos out there, but I'm doing it, so I just figured I'd hurry and show you. I just bought this Glock 23, and I want to put Talon Grips on it. I've already got Talon Grips on my Glock 27, and I just like the way it feels. So I decided to put them on my Glock 23 as well. So I just thought I would show you how to do it. Now, when you get your Talon Grips, you got your instructions. They give you a little decal, some alcohol, and the only thing you need to provide is a blow dryer. So I stole this from my wife, and I'm just going to show you how I do this. So obviously the first thing you want to do is safety check your firearm. What I do is I will actually field strip it. That way it's easier to manipulate this, and it's just lighter, so that's what I do. The second thing you want to do is get your alcohol that they provide you, and then you want to just use that to clean it. Oh, that seems small. Man, this thing's tiny. So you just get this out. I don't know if I ripped it in half or what. Man, that's small. And then I'll just go ahead and clean this. Make sure it's cleaned off really well. You only want to use alcohol. You don't want to use anything else. Alcohol obviously evaporates easy. So you don't want to use anything else. You want to make sure it's nice and clean. Make sure you're getting all these little crannies down on the bottom. Just clean it off real good. It's just not too dirty, but just want to make sure it's nice and clean. So once you do that, just kind of blow it off. Let it sit there just for a couple of seconds, so you can make sure that it's clean. Okay, so once it's cleaned, like I said, I just kind of move this like this. Then what you're going to want to do, we're going to start on the left side of the gun, on this left edge. And what you actually want to do is you want to line this edge of the decal, or the grip, up. I don't know if you can see this or not. This is a Generation 3 Glock 23. You want to line it up right up against the same line that's already on your Glock. And then also down here on the bottom, you want it to be not quite flush with the bottom, but it's pretty close. So, and then I'll just kind of put it on just to make sure that looks good and that's nice and centered. So what I'll do at that point is I'll go ahead and just take off the tape, or this backing, I guess. I don't know what this is called, but go ahead and tear that off. Okay. Okay, so once that's off, you want to just start, like I said, on this left-hand side, and then you want to line this side up with this edge perfectly. So let me just do that. It's kind of hard to see, so. Okay, and then what you want to do is just kind of roll it around to the side. Just kind of roll it around to the other side of the gun. And then what I do is I don't push it down all the way yet, because I want to make sure that it lines up on this side before I go ahead and push it down. So I just kind of lightly put it in place, make sure that everything lines up over here, which it looks like it is. Once I see that it will line up, then I'll go ahead and kind of peel it back off, and I'll go ahead and just kind of peel it around the gun. Now you can kind of change the angle of this if it's not right, like I just did there. But that looks good right about there. So then once you get it in place, I would just kind of push down on it just to kind of lock it into place. Just kind of roll your fingers like this. Okay, now we've got to put on these finger guards. So you're gonna have to lift up the front side that you've already put down. That's why I don't push down too hard on this side at first. I push down just hard enough to where, you know, it's gonna stay in place so I can get the rest of it on. So I lift that side up, and then you want to just kind of roll these around. You know, you don't really want to stretch them, but you just want to make sure that they're nice and straight and square. You know, you make sure everything's lined up perfectly, make sure that there's nothing in the way of your mag release. But so far that looks good. So then what I'll do is then I'll just go ahead and wrap this front piece back down, and I'll just push down on it firmly. Then what I do is I just kind of work my way around it to make sure there's no like air bubbles or anything sticking up. As you can see, this back's got a couple little pieces sticking up, so will work my way around, pushing it down, just kind of rolling it all the way around. Make sure it's nice and tight. And then the last step that you want to do is you want to get your blow dryer. I have mine set on hot, and then I'll just blow dry this till it gets pretty warm. I'll just do it real quick just to show you. Then once it gets pretty warm, you can actually press the grip once again, and that kind of sets it in place. And you can do that as many times as you want. So, you know, if you're really self-conscious about it being, you know, sticking, you know, do it a couple times. So I'm just going to show you real quick. One of the most important parts is probably this back strap, because it's kind of bent. So you want to make sure you get that back really good. The sides usually stick pretty well, but on this back, you want to do that really good and make sure it's nice and hot, and then push it down. It's kind of hot, so you may want to put on some gloves, but it's kind of warm, but it's not like it's gonna burn you or anything, so just push down on it nice and tight. Just push down on it. And then you do want to do like these front finger pieces. And you just kind of roll those around and make sure they're nice and tight. But that's pretty much it. So that's how you install the Talon grips. That's a Glock 23. And like I said, you can do that a couple times, so if it gets kind of loose, you can do it. Or if for some reason you mess up, you can just pull off the decals or the grips and just redo it. So anyways, that's how you do it. If you have any questions, leave some comments below the video. We'll see you guys on the next video.